The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Oh, look at this. Look at this! He got it! Ready for a spare!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Washington Toyota Dodge Nissan. Looks good.
Looks good! That's the goal! It's a goal!
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire, and another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. So glad that you could join us today. I'm Doug Brown, along with Dan Murphy. Last week, we kicked off the new season, and Rico Baldinelli got us started with a 402 triple, and today he's going to try and make it two in a row.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, too. Fellow travels a long ways to get here, Phil Clough. His average might be a little deceiving, but I'll explain that later on at 115. But Rico will have all he can handle today.
All right, week two of our new season. We'll also have our bonus ball contest a little bit later on with $70 up for grabs if we get a match between our bowler and our lucky viewer who sends in a postcard. But right now, let's meet our two bowlers. First of all, our number 5 seed from Amesbury, Massachusetts, Rico Baldinelli.
Okay, Rico comes in averaging 119, high single of 181. His roll-off score 664.
And last week, as I mentioned, a 402 as he knocked off Pat Pay in week 1 of this 4-week series. So Rico now trying for his second win in a row and his third win all time here. And he will face our number 3 seed all the way from Warren, Massachusetts, Phil Clough.
Okay, Phil comes in averaging 115, as I said, high single 206. His roll-off score 684.
All right, it's 3 games, of course, total pinfall to determine the winner. And we will be back to get this match started here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Rico Baldinelli and Phil Clough after this quick timeout. Come right back. Here are the 5 bowlers that qualified for this series on Stars and Strikes last week. Rico Baldinelli came up with the big win to knock off the number 4 seed Pat Pay, so today he takes a shot at number 3 seed Phil Clough. The winner of this match will face the left-hander Bob Kelly from Stoneham, Mass., our number 2 seed, and 2 weeks from today, Ron Simino will be here as the number 1 seed to try and defend that number 1 spot. And you see Ron had that big score, 737 in the final roll-off. So here we go. Rico Baldinelli, fresh off the win a week ago, and he starts immediately with a strike. We did not see a lot of strikes in last week's match, Dan. Just 2 for Rico and 1 for Pat Pay, but Rico was specializing in the 9 drops last week.
And you saw what pin he tripped. They tripped the 4-pin. Last week it was the 4 and 6 pins he was leaving standing. It was crashing with 9-pin drops and leaving those 2 particular pins. That time he tripped the 4-pin, last pin to go down.
Now looking for the spare on top of it, and just slides by the head pin. 29 opening pair. And now our first look of the new season at Phil Clough from Warren, Massachusetts. Heading out toward Western Mass, out in the Sturbridge area. Long ride up for Phil to join us here, but he's been with us on several previous occasions, mostly on doubles and on skins. This is his 2nd appearance in singles, and he starts off with a spare. Phil's only other appearance in singles competition here was back in February of '94. He lost the match to Jim Flynn. Phil on the spare now.
Phil doesn't throw hard, very deliberate, 7-pin drop, 2, 4, and 6 left. As I mentioned, a lot of the averages, high 120s, mid-20s. Phil's 115. Bowls in a place called State Bowl in Springfield, Mass. And, well, let me say that Springfield State Bowl is a tough house. It's you really got to be on top of your game to throw big scores. So consequently, his average is a little deceiving compared to some of the other houses.
Speaking of big scores, from time to time here on Stars and Strikes, we've talked about various issues affecting the candlepin business as Rico Baldinelli throws another one of those 9 drops. And at the annual ICBA convention this past summer, it appears that the whole issue of
an external bumper.
Right, those extra bumpers around the pin deck, it looks like that may be a dead issue for now, right?
It is a dead issue, yes. Yeah.
Explain what, again, that was going to be, had it been approved.
As you look at those pins standing, there is a curtain that the ball just came in contact with. What was proposed is, instead of having a curtain of some pliable material.
Oh my! Twice Rico demonstrating the curtain for us.
What was proposed is to hang something of a plastic, a hard plastic that weighed about 40 pounds. So what was happening is the pins, when everything would bounce off this, come back, and you get much greater pinfall. But cooler heads prevailed, and probably a little more wisdom. Like, that was a drastic change in the game of Candlepin. You know, it's really artificial, the scoring. So it was voted down anyways. And the game remains intact. But it's nice that the ICBA will test a lot of these things and get the test results, and then decide if it's an improvement for the game or not.
Right, and there was testing done, and some people did get a chance to actually bowl under those conditions. So it's interesting. Phil Clough looking for his second mark, comes in a little heavy. Working opposite a 2-box by Rico Baldinelli, so he will undoubtedly take the lead here.
With only the benefit of that spare in the first, where Rico's had a spare and strike, but that 2-fill and 2-box really negated that last mark.
Well, Rico was just helping us out so that you could describe the curtain.
Like, geez, Rico, you're not to be that nice a guy, you know. It's just that's the curtain, yes. And there it is again. Let's see if it has any effect on his game. I doubt if it will.
Now, see, under the proposal that you were just talking about, where there would be a hard surface hanging back there, those two balls that
ball
Rico
and the
threw,
pins,
right? That would have made a heck of a noise going back there, probably, if it was thrown hard enough.
Yeah. Supposedly the ball would slip underneath it, but the pins would come in contact with it. So, but you get pins bouncing back, and you know, it's. I think what it would have. No, he's missing the 5-pin. Not to be
someone in the crowd actually spotted it before we did, but I knew Rico would get
pick up on it.
Yeah.
What most people thought, that if that passed, is that it's taking the hard throwers and things that would benefit them more than anybody else.
Right.
And that's just not, you know, it's like giving a kid a baseball and telling him not to throw a strike. I mean, throw a curveball.
What do you know? There's the 5-pin.
Yeah, that's right. Should have hurry up and throw the last one.
Yeah, that would be a fairly significant change to the game. I mean, you'd have to throw out all the existing records.
Oh, well, they would go. Yes, within a month they would go. I mean, it was tested out in Western Mass at Fast Lanes, ironic name to the place, in Holyoke, and you know, it was nothing to average 135, 140.
Wow.
So, well, not nothing, but people were doing it. I guess the last intervention that would have as serious an impact on the game as that would be your plastic pins. But that wasn't done truly for scores. That was done economically.
Right.
They just couldn't get the wood any longer. And they wouldn't last as long, the wooden pins. So.
Boy, and it's funny, too. I can imagine. How long has it been now since wooden pins were the norm?
Oh, God. I think it was late 50s.
I don't know what it is, but maybe I'm imagining it, but being a baseball fan and watching a lot of baseball this season, it seemed like the ash they were getting for the baseball bats this season was very bad. I don't know how many guys you would see get the bats sheared off right in their hands. You know, they'd be left holding the handle, and the barrel of the bat would go out into the infield somewhere. It seemed like it happened all the time. Phil Clough converting the 4 horsemen.
Both bowlers working on spares, as you can see. Rico's first one, let's see, 6. Make it 7.
Now, can I put you on the spot and ask you one more question?
Sure.
What kind of wood did they use?
For the pins?
Yeah.
It was maple.
Maple.
Very hard maple. much the same wood that the lanes are still made out of, if you have still have real wood.
10 box for Rico.
'78 through 7.
Which I guess would explain why the lanes that I grew up bowling in Marblehead, Massachusetts, were called Maple Lanes.
There you go.
That was the name of the place.
They still have some Maple Lanes in Brockton called Maple Lanes. Just a wealth of knowledge sitting here, you know,
Boy,
just coming off the long summer.
I never know what I'm going to learn sitting here.
Nice 10 by Rico, 88 through 8.
Using the wood.
Or plastic.
Yes. Oh, big first ball for Phil Clough. That was on a spare. Solid 9-drop, leaving the 8-pin. And retaking the lead once again. Spare.
2 in a row.
My English teacher would be after me for that. Retaking the lead again. That would be redundant and repetitive, I guess.
Downright stupid, really.
Phil hoping for some kind of a break here, but he'll have to work with the wood on the 7-drop.
Gives him 90 through 7 and a 12-pin advantage. Let's see if he can do anything with the wood on the 7, 9, and 10. Well, the 9 and 10 are out of there.
And the 10 box for Phil, 100 through 8 and a 12-pin lead. If you weren't with us last week for the first show of the new season, we were talking about the fact that there's a new look here at Park Place Lanes, and as we show you the matches and look back toward the bowling area, back where we're sitting here, you can see the changes that have been made, and major renovation not only here but throughout Park Place Lanes. So if you get a chance to come visit, either to perhaps have a beverage one evening at Jonathan's, or perhaps to do some bowling of your own, or perhaps to have a bite to eat at the Willow Tree North restaurant. You can check out all the remodeling that's been done here at Park Place Lanes, and our friend Rodney Cronin and the staff at Willow Tree North will certainly take care of you, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Reasonable prices, great service, terrific food. And remember, even after all these years, it's where the crew eats.
Have you ever had breakfast there? Fantastic breakfast.
Actually, I have not.
Oh, wow. 107 for Rico.
Normally, I get here after you do in the morning, and they tell me that they're all out.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, they're
after.
all out of.
Oh. Okay. Zing. There we go. Didn't quite catch it at first. Phil Clough in the 9th frame. Boy, he's got that 9 and 10 back up there again. This time with the 6 and 7 as well. 4 and 7. A couple pieces of wood out front, or one out front, not too nestled against the 9.
Nope.
This time he gets the 4-7, but not the 9 and 10. But he'll have the lead. It's just a matter of how many.
Oh, a nice little finessed shot there, and he gets it. The 10 box. Phil was about ready to push the button.
I'd already given them a 10 too. I was hoping it would go down. Wouldn't want to make a mistake the first week.
Second week, you mean?
Second week.
There's your first mistake. You forgot it was the second week.
6-7. He's going to try to pinch the 6-pin on the right-hand side, I believe.
Oh, great shot.
Actually, he was right on the 6-pin because of the angle of the wood. It sent the ball over into the 7-pin. He'll have 120 plus a ball.
Snapped that over there.
Oh, that was a fast replay.
120 plus a ball. Phil Clough will have the lead after this first game, and he mixes 6 for a 126. A 19-pin advantage for Phil Clough after game 1. We're back with the middle game and details on how you can win cash in the bonus ball contest in a minute. Phil Clough leads off game 2, leading by 19. Oh, trying to go outside on the head pin and slip by. That time right on it for the 10 bucks. That was not the same type of shot that he was playing on the second ball.
No.
But playing the safe shot on the third ball.
Right, just try to get as many as you can, and let's try it again. Now let's see if he goes to the right of the headman, or will he go into the 1-2 pocket.
Just missed the pocket and then almost got it on the way back. Yeah, it'll be a 10. A couple of them for Phil Clough. And Rico Baldinelli will have an immediate chance to cut into that 19-pin deficit. Well, let's see. Where will this go? In a pretty good spot.
I'd say if he catches the headpin, he's got a shot at making the 1, 2, 8, and 10. Well, missed the headpin to the right. Left both the 1 and the 2. A little more zip on that ball. I think he's pushing that ball out, not really throwing it with authority like he was the first game.
Well, Rico started the match with a strike. He's had just 2 spares since then. And he'll have a chance for another here on the 3-5 with what looks to be favorable wood. Yep.
I turned around and gave him a 10. Let's give him a spare now that I made that mistake. I feel better now. I'm done for the rest of the year now. Home free and clear. No more mistakes.
Phil Clough.
3, 6, 10 with the 7-pin, and looks like to play the double piece of wood.
Oh, how about it? Not quite. Thought maybe the ball would give it to him on the way by. And the 10 bucks. Phil. Well, here's another look at that spare chance.
A real great angle on that. See, that pin went right to the sidewall off the 3-pin and got the 10, left the 6.
Phil works as a designer. He and his wife Diane have 3 children and a granddaughter, 1-year-old Marissa.
Oh, that close to a mark. Looking for his 4th 10 box in a row.
Fourth 10 is indeed in the books for Phil Clough.
Working on a spares. Rico crosses over into 1-2, and there's that patented 9-pin drop, leaving the 6.
That quickly cuts the lead to 10.
Make it 2 in a row.
Yep.
It may be my imagination, but it looks like he's got a little more zip on the ball the last few boxes. Just got a little lazy up there. Turned the ball over a little more that time. Heavy on the head pin, just 5.
This match is going to be very tight as we approach the halfway point. As Rico Baldinelli takes another 10, and he has taken 14 pins off that Phil Clough lead. It's down to 5. Just about halfway through this match here on Stars and Strikes. We're back to Park Place Lanes in a minute. You look at Phil Clough. Still has the lead, but now just by 5 pins.
Looked like a decent ball going into the 1-3 that time, but he leaves himself to 2-4, 6 and 10. No wood. Try to split him. Got a good shot at it.
What
Nice.
a great shot. Perfectly done.
It's a replay. Just cuts that 2-pin into the 6 and eventually the 10.
And worth a strike on the fill.
Well deserved. After that great spare. You see that ball turns from right to left and it's dead in the pocket.
And Rico Baldinelli comes back with another solid 9. Leaving the 5-pin. He'll have a clear shot at it. Takes it for the spare. That's his 6th mark. Each bowler with 6 marks now. Each bowler with 5 spares and 1 strike to this point.
Eight Phil on the spare. 9-10. Let's see. You would think you want to play the backwood, but I don't think he has the angle, so he's going on the front one, and it's just 6 of one, half dozen other. Not a very good shot at either piece of wood to make the 9 and the 10.
Well, Phil Clough with a chance to get the lead back into double figures here. Working on a strike. And the same shot he had back in the first box.
A couple of these to shoot at today.
Piece of wood hiding in the back that may help. No, too fine going to the outside.
Just a 5 Phil on the strike.
And takes the 10. Quite get that one up to the head pin. Again trying the inside and almost converting. Another 10 for Phil Clough. Phil has 6 10 boxes and 2 marks in this game.
How close
he
can you
almost
come?
Converted this one. Yep.
Look at that.
Opportunity for Rico to do more damage here. The 3, 5, and 7. Not quite. And it's a 9. Working opposite another open frame here in the 8th. And another split. This time, the 5, 6, and 7.
This time, I think two ways to play it: wood to the right, sweep everything from right to left, or play it right straight down the middle. Try to clip the front piece as well as taking the 5. No,
Yep.
You saw him turned away. It was too far left.
Hit the red line, and that wasn't what he wanted. So a couple of 9 boxes. Rico actually loses a couple of pins in count, and the lead goes up to 14. Don't forget, Candlepin Skins next Saturday at 12 noon here on the Winds of New England. From the Londonderry Bowling Center, a unique format if you haven't had a chance to tune in. Candlepin Skins, where you not only get to see the bowlers in action, but you also get to hear them as they rip each other in the background.
Yeah, the trash talking is sometimes precious, or priceless, or entertaining, anyways.
Yes.
104 through 9 for Phil. Late coming through with that ball, but let's see. Still falling.
Well, that could have been a half Worcester. It's looking a lot better now. He only got 2 extra pins, but they both fell in the middle of the pile there. Well, couldn't take advantage. So 2 more open boxes. Phil had just the 2 marks in the 5th and 6th. And then all 10 boxes until the 9 and the 8 at the end. So a 112 and a 220, a 238 through 2 for Phil Clough. And another opportunity for Rico Baldinelli. Another split, though. The 2, 8, and 10.
There's a piece of wood in between the 2 and the 8. Just peeking. Well, he's got to have the 2 pin. You never know. It could come in contact with the cap of that wood and then send it over to the 10 pin.
I think maybe he was trying to play off that front piece of wood. I think he tried it both times. Well, we'll never know, I guess, unless we remember to ask him.
Well, he's leaving some pins standing. That's 5 pins standing in the last 3 boxes.
And now the spread eagle +1, the 8 in the back. So Rico will shave a few pins off the lead, but that's it. Takes it for the 10, a 117, and a 2-game total of 224. So just a 14-pin lead for Phil Clough with 1 game to go on Stars and Strikes. When we come back, Rico Baldinelli, trailing by 14. And starting with a strike, much as he started the match. His 2nd strike of the day.
Just tripping that 5 pin from behind.
Looked for a moment like it was going to be another one of those 9 drops.
Another one right in there, and oh boy.
Wow, that was light. Looked like it was going to be a good hit. Instead, it's the triangle, the 4, 7, and 8, plus the 10 pin. Still, though, Rico had to be thinking, put at least 1 mark up there to start this game.
I almost said that wood looks inviting, and of course he plays it. Who knows?
Would it have gone with the other pins there? It looked like it would have.
I think so, but I know what he's thinking. He wants a decent fill on the strike. It didn't work out. He might have only gotten 6 or 7. I guess it's a difference of a pin or 2 on the fill. Maybe worth a chance.
Phil Clough trying to spray the ball over and almost did it. Well, Phil's lead will be back in single figures as he takes a 9. That cuts the lead to 5 now.
Oh,
wow.
Gets no break in the 1-3. 5-7, no wood.
$10. So the lead remains at 5. Another 9 drop for Rico Baldinelli.
And the 4 pin.
4, 5, or 6. You're right about that, Dan. It always seems to be one of the pins in that row every time. Think of the scores he would have had if maybe half of these 9 drops were strikes.
Yeah. Really
Really amazing when you look at it. He's only thrown 2 strikes in each match. 2 last week and 2 this week. And 2.5 there. Oh, he moved the 5-pin probably 3 or 4 inches. But it looked like a piece of wood came over and helped stand it up, didn't it?
So, yeah, it stopped it from sliding any further and probably stopped it from going down. Rico going to regroup here and take aim at the 5, trying to make it 2 in a row, 3 out of 4 boxes, and wouldn't you know. Here's where you can't rush yourself. So you look like he rushed that shot. Well, he's able to get the 10 anyways. Want to bear down, get every pin. Close match.
Oof.
No, actually
the wood had nothing to do with it. Wood just came over later.
Just didn't want to go down.
Nope.
One of those things. Full on the head pin, 7 and 10.
Oof.
Hello.
Well, Phil needs to make this to keep his lead.
Well, the bad news is 7-10. Good news, he does have a piece of wood, and ooh, boy, gave it a run. The lead will now be in Rico's corner.
Good work on the 10 box, getting the 2 singles, but the lead goes to Rico Baldinelli's side for the first time in a while by 4. Rico hadn't led since the 3rd box of the match. And now the spread eagle. Boy, the 7-10 and then the spread eagle. Oh, he's got it! Oh, you know, as soon as he threw that, it looked like it might have a chance. What a great shot. The spread eagle for a spare. I have a feeling we'll look at it again as we go to a break here on Stars and Strikes. Now, a little excitement right before the break as Phil Clough converts the spread eagle for a spare. Rico Baldinelli now. Oh, my.
189. Well, saw the spread eagle made. This makes it a little easier with a 5-pin in there.
Ooh, pretty good effort. Well, that would have been something to see the 2 of those made back to back. Works out of it with a 10 box. Now a shot with the 3, 6, and 10. Nope. No, wait, no. Rico's going to wait until Cindy Sissom gets that ball out of there. And the 10. 3 10s in a row for Rico Baldinelli, but he'll be needing some more marks, as probably on this Phil Clough will retake the lead. Anything more than 4. Gives him the lead back.
Well, he's a little short with the ball, but he got a decent drop of 7. He's way behind himself on that. Left the ball to the right. 1, 2, and 8 pins left. Oh, not quite. No.
Looks like every pin will be critical here coming down the stretch.
Absolutely.
Phil's lead is 3.
Oh, 1, 5, and 9. Spread eagle plus the 8 pin in the back. Well, can he pull this one off?
the same lane he made the spread eagle a moment ago. Not this time. Well, 4 boxes to go, and now the lead is just 1 for Phil Clough. Essentially a brand new match now, 4 boxes. Well, Rico trying to work that pin around, and it does. The 2-4, 6 and 10. Has to watch out for the cap. Well, it wasn't completely up against the 2-pin.
Every pin is important now. So both bowlers have 8 boxes. Eighth frame now for Rico.
Oh my, well, you got away with one that time.
Well, 2 open frames for Phil Clough to work on. See if he can take advantage of it.
And the 10.
Here you see the story. 1 pin to this point. Phil's working against an 8 and a 10.
Here's what Phil has done today. Comes up a little short on that ball. He leaves the 1, 3, or rather the 1, 2, 4, and 8. For the spare? Yes. Big shot.
That'll increase his lead to 3 plus the bonus ball. As you see the replay on those 4 pins for the spare.
The 2-pin carried right straight back to get the 8. That doesn't always happen on that shot.
Chance to push the lead into double figures.
7-pin drop.
And with the way the wood's situated, he's got a shot at the 2, 4, and 10. The problem is the 2-pin flying around the 4-pin.
Got it.
No problem. 2 in a row. A lot of pressure now put on Rico. Trailing by 10, plus Phil will have that bonus ball. You see the replay. That's spare, and Rico has to put 2 marks up.
Now would be a good time for one of those 9 drops. Instead, it's just 8, and the wood may be leaving. Well, it'll stay, but if it does stay, it won't be in a very favorable position.
I probably want it in the middle.
Yeah. It may end up in the middle before it's done.
His ball breaks from right to left. He tried to just shoot at that and hopefully clips the...
Nope. Did all he could. 9. Well, as you can see, Rico's gone 6 boxes without a mark, and in that time, Phil has put 3 up there. And that's the difference in the match right now. No, the strike in the 10th. Well, if Rico were to double up here, he could force Phil to do something. He gets his 3rd strike of the day. Got a possible 134 if he strikes out. And let's see. Oh my. Well, that could have made it a little more interesting. All Phil has to do now is mark out spare on strike to finish up for Rico. He ends with 10 marks and a 348. But all Phil Clough needs is a 111, and he's got 91 right now, plus a Phil ball here. So with no mistakes, he should be able to pin out and win it. And the spare. 3 in a row for Phil Clough. Nice shot. And that will do it.
A little help on the 5-pin, but he gets it from the right sidewall. Right there, pin coming across, nudging the second piece for the 5-pin. And as Doug said, 3 in a row and just about coast.
That ball actually officially ends it. And Phil's got a shot at another spare. Phil's only thrown 1 strike today, but he's got 10 spares now, including 4 in a row here down the stretch. 125 plus a ball. And it's 9. A 134. 372 for Phil Clough. 348 for Rico Baldinelli, a match that was much closer than the final score indicates. We'll be back to have the bonus ball contest and chat with the bowlers in a minute. And welcome back to Park Place Lanes. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. Phil Clough knocks off Rico Baldinelli with some clutch shots coming down the stretch, not the least of which, of course, that spread eagle in the 4th. That was a big shot.
Well, you know, in every sport, if it's tennis, a good offensive shot, or baseball, somebody hitting a home run seems to ignite the team. Well, in Phil's case, picking the spread eagle, I think, was the turning point of the match and seemed to relax him more, and he threw a strike on it, and from then on, it was all Phil Clough. All
right, let's talk to both bowlers. First of all, a round of applause for Rico Baldinelli. He will take 4th place prize money in this series, $175. And hi, Rico, and appreciate you coming. And boy, it kind of changed for you after that. You've had that big first game last week, the 151, and then we're never quite able to duplicate that again. But this match was close right down to the end, and Phil just made the shots that he had to make, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't as high, but it was close. I couldn't analyze the match, but hey, better man won. That's all. That's all I can say.
That's all the analysis needed, I guess.
After making that, spread eagle, and he bowled good. I'm glad for him.
Nice job for you, too, getting the win last week, and come back and see us again real soon, all right?
Thank you.
All right, that's Rico Baldinelli. And now Phil Clough for our bonus ball contest. Phil will step up and roll the ball for us, and we'll see if we can get a match. We have $70 in the jackpot this week, and, of course, if we get a match, both Phil and the viewer at home will receive a brand-new set of bowling balls from Paramount Industries. But only if we get a match. Oh, and it's 3. See, Phil was just trying to leave a shot that he could make, see?
Let me look at a few of them, see if I can find a 3.
Come on over, Phil, and we'll chat here in a second. We're looking for a match on a 3, and shockingly enough, we did not get a match. But the guess was 5 for Mr. and Mrs. Robert Fitzpatrick from Exeter, New Hampshire. And she says they both enjoy the show. We appreciate that very much. We'll be sending you a consolation gift. The guess 5 and not a match, so we'll be increasing the jackpot up to $80 next week. Step right in here, Phil. Congratulations. And boy, kind of a strange match. Both of you very close throughout. Nobody really able to get away, but you were finally able to make some shots there in the 3rd game.
It was a very tough match. We didn't bowl too great, but it's good for the viewers when it's close like that.
Well, I want to talk about the shot that Dan and I were just discussing, and we're going to show it again here so you can get a chance to look at it as well. That spread eagle conversion in the 4th, it kept you in the lead in the match, as it turned out.
Well, I was just trying for the 10, and I was lucky enough to hit it thin enough to throw it over there.
You're just looking to try and get out of the box, right?
Exactly.
Well, that turned out to be a big shot. It put you back in the lead to stay, and although Rico kept it close, you made the big shots you had to make at the end. So that means that puts you into the semifinals next week, and I'm sure you've heard of a guy named Bob Kelly. He'll be bowling you against you next week.
Oh, yeah, Bob's an excellent bowler.
We'll be looking forward to it. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Phil Clough gets the win today, and here again is a look ahead to next week. Phil Clough, our number 3 seed, advances to face our number 2 seed, Bob Kelly, And then, of course, the winner of that one next week will be here 2 weeks from today to face Ron Simino, who just about lapped the field with that big roll-off score.
It's first time here, and certainly threw a big score up in front of some pretty fair company. And Bob Kelly next week, the left-hander, give Phil a tough time, and who knows following week.
All right, next weekend then, Saturday at noon, Candlepin Skins from the Londonderry Bowling Center, and then Sunday at noon back here at Park Place Lanes for Bob Kelly against Phil Clough. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole Winds of New England crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a great week, everybody.